Yo guys, welcome back to another Let's Say Career Mode episode on FIFA 17. Today we kick off today's episode with a game against Swansea. Here we're making a few changes to the side, being as Danny Simpson is back into the squad, and we in fact put Musa into the team for how well he played in the game in the last episode against Everton in the AFL Cup. Played very well, so we decided to stick with him in today's side. As here we go into the game, and should be a good one. Hoping to get the win from this game, being as it's Swansea. Fair enough, they are a good team, but it's a team that we should really be beating. And in real life right now, not doing too well. It should be a team it should be a even game, but we're hoping to get the win. Here see Sigurdsson and Slimane, the two players to watch apparently, even though I wouldn't really rate Slimane at this stage. But Sigurdsson I do really like. His free kicks very good, his penalties are very good. It's just a very well-rounded player in the middle of the park to play in the cam position. Wouldn't mind picking him up, to be fair. Only 26 or 27 years of age, I believe. So it would be a nice signing to make in the next transfer window, I think. But there are a couple of other players I've got my eye on for the cam role, being as we ain't got an out-and-out one apart from the 19-year-old Barnes, which I don't think he'll be starting just yet. As here we get into the first clip of the match as we're going forward with Son down the left hand side, coming inside to Drinkwater, who gives it to Slimane, gives it out to Albrighton, who gives it to Simpson, back inside to Drinkwater, gives it Mende, who passes it on to Varde, and Varde turns back, passes it into Drinkwater, and Drinkwater nicely side foots it into the side of the net, into the near post, shall I say. Very nice finish from Drinkwater. I mean, how coolly taken was this from Drinkwater? Varde turns back, lays it into him, and just passes it pretty much into the net. I don't know what the keeper's doing there. Terrible piece of even trying to save it. That's absolutely awful. Here, you see me very happy on the touchline. Only a few minutes in, 17 minutes into this game, and we're 1-0 up already. Is straight from kick-off nearly. Swansea come forward on the ball with Nathan Dyer down the right hand side, and a terrible piece of passing there. Montero wins it, just put wide from Montero. I think he should be easily finishing that. The player is quality, just wide, but he should be finishing that chance. As here we see another attack of Swansea. Sigurdsson on the ball, gives it to Montero, who gives it back to Sigurdsson. Sigurdsson just playing it round, playing cool, calm football at the minute here in the middle of the park, and it's good turn there. Plays it into Neil Taylor, I believe, and he passes it into Borja Baston, but a great save there to get down so low so quickly from Kasper Schmeichel. Good save. And he keeps it at 1-0 to us. Yeah. Is here we go into the next one. Albrighton gives it into Slimane. A nice little flick on from Slimane there. Passes it back to Slimane here. Danny Simpson to Mende, who gives it into Drinkwater, who passes it inside to Jamie Vardy. Vardy comes forward on the ball, he's just holding up the play. He gives it to Drinkwater, passes it out to Albrighton, and Albrighton straight across the goal. Fabianski really should be doing better there. Even though it is a well struck shot from Albrighton, it's straight across him, basically straight at him there. He really should be saving that. At them kind of angles as well. Fair enough, it's not the hardest of angles to score from, but he really should be saving that one. Look, terrible piece of goalkeeping there. Just stuck his arm out. If he stuck his arm out any further there, I think he'd save that. But that's Albrighton's first goal in the Premier League this season so far. Is a massive boot forward here, leads to Leroy first, smashing a shot just over the bar. And I really thought that he should be doing better there, because he had time and space on the ball. As Nathan Dyer shows his pace, coming down the wing, beats loads of men, but Baston, not the best of headers there, but still creating a few chances. As straight from that we come on the attack with Jamie Vardy on the ball now, who gives it Albrighton, who gives it out to Son. Son keeps up the ball and gives it into Mendes, and just tackled there from Fernandez, who hoofs the ball up field, but only as far as Robert Hoof, who gives it inside, and it comes to Drinkwater, who passes it in, and Albrighton gives it to Son, and I have no idea how Jamie Vardy missed that. Fair enough, it was a bit of a rushed shot, and he had to stick his foot out to get there quick enough, but not good enough. And another attack coming from Swansea, but Schmeichel again making a good save to keep them out and keep the score at 2-0, and that is in fact how the game ended. As we go 2-0, we won the game 2-0 here. Great win for us really, being as we ain't been on the best of forms lately. Not really going forward well enough, I don't think. But we did in fact win the game, and as we go into the training session here, we see a couple of the players going up in a few stats, which is good for us, I suppose. And here we see another offer for Jamie Vardy, but again we'll go ahead and reject that, being as he is probably the star player in the team at the minute and is playing the best. As here we see we go into for Dele Alli. I mean, what a player he is. He's good at his finishing and well-rounded really. Obviously don't go back too much, but to play in that cam role is a very good player. And then here we look for a replacement in Patrick Herman, and here we see an offer accepted for Chuba Akpom. A lot of you guys may be asking why I'm even going in for him, but with that pace, if I could get him a few stats up in his finishing and everything, would be a very good player. And we went in again for Bernardo Silva, who a very young and pacey player, and we inquired about a few players here. Jonathan Callara from West Ham, good young Argentinian player, so we go in and offer him a bid, and we try and bring Knockout back to the club just as a sort of a backup player to whoever comes in to fill Mahrez's place. We also put in a bid for another Algerian player in Rayad something, can't pronounce that name, but yeah, we're going for him in the cam role. And we put in a bid for Juan Pablo Anor, who I wouldn't mind bringing to the club, only 22 years old, could do a good job if he increases quite a bit. As we go in for Vasquez and Vitolo, but for Vitolo I put in the wrong bid here, so we won't be signing him. I'll just mark that out now, because a 22 million bid, I'm not spending that just yet unless we get a different player. Is here we go in for another striker, and we go in for Gelson Martinez, a young only 21 years old in the right mid position, very pacey. Won't mind bringing him to the club. And the Colombian Quintero here we go in for as well, 8.5 million. Could be a good player. I had him in last year's FIFA, he's quite good, so I decided to make an offer for him. And also we see that the offer for Herman was unacceptable, and we see here Chuba Akpom's deal was accepted, but Bernardo Silva's was still unacceptable. So we put in another offer for him, and we also put in another offer for Mauro Icardi. And I have this guy in my ultimate team, and he is unbelievable. I really like playing with him. As we put in another offer for Dele Alli at 24.5 million now. He is supposed to have really good potential. That's why I'm deciding to spend so much on him. I think he'll be a really good player in the future. Wouldn't mind grabbing hold of him. As we go into another hour down, we see the offer for Vertolo was accepted, but we just decide to completely reject that because he isn't coming to the club for 22.5 million. As we put in another bid for Fernando Quintero here, and we also put in another bid for Gelson Martinez to try and bring him to the club. Any of these players I'd love to bring to the club, as we again going for Alario as well, 10.5 million. But if I can get Calari should I say, for any cheaper, there's no point in trying to sign him, being as he's a year younger and he's probably going to be the same sort of overall as well. As we go in for Juan Pablo Anor again at 8 million bid this time. As we see that another unacceptable bid for Riyad, the Algerian cam. We put in another bid, and we put in a bid for Knockout as well, but I don't think I'm going to bring him to the club even if his offer is accepted. And we see Calari's bid was unacceptable as well, so we put in an 8.5 million bid this time for the young Argentine, hoping that he can increase quite well. As we see Herman's offer was accepted, we go in and offer him a contract at 50 grand a week on a 5-year deal. I would really like to bring him to the club. As we see also Dele Alli's offer was accepted. He's definitely a player I'm bringing to the club. Fair enough, it is a lot of money, but I've got to bring him to the club with everything that he's got. As we again put in another bid for Icardi, looking less and less likely that we're going to sign him now. But we got a bid accepted as well for Bernardo Silva, who wants 60 grand a week. I mean, fair enough, he's younger, he's got a cheaper wage than Herman, so I think if it comes down to it, we're definitely going to sign Bernardo Silva, but I'm not too sure at the moment. Juan Fernando Quintero, again, his offer was accepted this time for 9.5 million, so we put in a contract offer for him. As we see a couple of the people that's offer was unacceptable, we just go ahead and delete them because the players that we need getting their offers accepted now, so there's no point in keeping the other players there if they're just going to be rejecting all the offers. So I ain't going to go in for them. As here we look to go in for Honor again, but that's only because he would only be a backup player, but I decide not to after looking for him. As again we decide not to go in for Riyad, and we put in a contract offer for Anthony Knockout to bring him back to the King Power, but still not sure whether I would actually take that deal. Jonathan Calari's offer was accepted as well, so we go and put a contract offer in for him. As we see Patrick Herman's offer, he disagreed with his offer, didn't want to come to the King Power on a 50 grand a week deal, so we put in another offer for him. And here we see Icardi again. They still want to hold out for 44.5 million for Icardi, but we put in a 32.5 bid. As we see here that Bernardo Silva's offer was accepted as well, so whether I'll bring him to the club instead of Herman, who knows. And again, Knockout's offer was declined, and so was Quintero's, but we see that Calari's offer and Herman's offer was accepted, as well as Dele Alli, Bernardo Silva and Chuba Akpom. Here we had a very big decision to make. Did I sign Bernardo Silva or Patrick Herman? We do have a look at both of them. They both got very good stats, but before we decide to go in for them, we decide to go in and accept the offer for Dele Alli, who I've got a really good feeling he will be a very good player for the club. And same as Jonathan Collara, we bring him into the club, only 22 years old, so there's a lot of room for improvement there. And here we're still looking at both players. I still didn't know about Chuba Akpom though, being as he is 21 nearly, only a 64 overall, but that pace is enough to, I can't deny the pace. So we go and accept the offer for Chuba Akpom, and we in fact do sign Bernardo Silva instead of Patrick Herman. I just think because he's younger, he might be that little bit more, but yeah, I think he will turn out to be a better player than Herman. As we see Sevilla come in for an offer on Jamie Vardy, but again we say no, he's our main player at the club at the minute. And we do offer for Donsar, who I also have on my ultimate team, and he is unreal as well. His long shots and his passing, he's just a really good player. As here we go in for an unlikely player that I didn't really know about, but Abel Hernandez. I mean, his pace and strength is very well very well evened out, so he should be a very good player. So we go in and offer him a contract offer as well. Only 3 hours left, of course, and we do in fact get our man in Abel Hernandez. Comes to the King Power in the last couple of hours of the transfer window, and a very good win. I think it would be a very good signing for us. As here I scroll through all the clubs in the Premier League. If there's any clubs that you want to look at in particular, like who this player sold, and I think I just pause the video on it. Just look at the club that you want to look at. Here you see ours, but a lot of money spent and a lot of money in at the same time. Some of the bigger clubs that I was expecting to make a lot of signings didn't really, but Manchester United spending nearly 130 million on 2 players this transfer window. I don't know if any of you guys have played a career mode with Manchester United, but I'd really like to know how much they get at the start of the season, because 130 million with no players sold is unbelievable. As here we go into the first youth scout update of the career, as we obviously signed the scouts in the last episode. As we see a lot of good players at this time. There've not been many great players coming out of the academy in the past few FIFAs, but this one, it just seems like there's unreal players and a lot of players that will fulfill a very good potential, so we'll try and bring a lot of them to the club. Obviously for me, in career mode, it's all about bringing your players up and that, and increasing their overall. But anyway, for the last part of the video, we see a training session. Please leave a like, leave a comment, and also subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you.